So this is the wrap for the live market open of Wednesday, October 14th. We had quite a few interesting developments in markets. We had weak data from Europe with the zoo missing, reflecting the Volkswagen crisis, but this had little impact on the euro. We had Australian data come out okay, but Chinese CPI, more importantly, disappointing once again, this time with inflation at 1.6%. This hurt the Australian dollar, which is managing to recover a bit, but suffering against its commodity currency peers, which are now moving higher. Inflation data from France and from Spain came in as expected, had no impact. We have mixed messages from the Fed, Bullard and Lockhart wanting to raise rates, unsurprisingly, Tarullo and Brainard wanting to wait a bit more. The recent message from Tarullo was relatively dovish, and it was the last thing markets heard. So this might be part of the reason that the US dollar is on the slide. The pound was hit hard yesterday by inflation data and dovish talk, but today it's managing to ignore the worse than expected wage data. It fell only a bit and then managed to recover. Commodity currencies are, well, they slid yesterday, now they're recovering, apart from the Australian dollar, which has more to catch up in comparison, especially to the Kiwi, but also to the CAD. We have the big event for today is retail sales in the United States. We're expecting very, very minor changes in the month-over-month figures. In retail sales, it's important to notice not only the headline figure, but also the core figures. There are quite a few core figures, in fact, but of course the one that everybody calls core is the most important one. Without autos, without cars, which are sort of in their own field. We have also purchasing the producer price index PPI from the United States. Here we're expecting more or less same figures like last month. It'll probably have less impact because retail sales are much, much more important. For those of you trading the Australian dollar, Australian employment data is up in the middle of the night. This should have a significant impact on the Aussie, especially to show if the Australian economy is doing well without China or not. Let's take a quick look at the charts. We have euro dollar making another move higher, 114.27, still above critical resistance at 114.60. Pound dollar recovering quite nicely, erasing the falls seen after the disappointment in wages and even moving to higher ground. Resistance at 154, support 152. Dollar yen still in range, but certainly leaning lower in comparison to recent days. 119.50. Level I'm looking to the downside is 118.70. Okay, 120 is the line that it was hugging. Dollar CAD battling with 130. Also, the Canadian dollar is recovering thanks to rising oil prices. Once again, Australian dollar is also recovering, but very, very limited because of this critical level, 72.80, more or less, which was the post-Fed high right here, and now serves to cap the pair once again. Very interesting currency pair. Kiwi dollar is breaking new ground, a bit limited to the upside with the previous high. Let's see if it can move higher. The high for so far 67.50. Big resistance only at 69, support at 66. So these are the main currency pairs that I'm watching. In general, the theme is of US dollar weakness across the board, and but a lot depends now on the retail sales for the next move. I'll be here as usual tomorrow morning, the same time, 8 GMT. We have lots of indicators tomorrow as well, and markets are certainly moving. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. Sorry for the technical trouble with the chat.